person trying. Oh, I had her to the back of the mic.
The whole
Oh,
time.
well, could you hear her very good?
I
don't know.
couldn't
Oh,
hear
I had
her.
her on the wrong side of the mic. Well,
I was just, I looked over and I was wondering about that. Well, may I just take about 20 seconds to pitch one other thing, because I have to go in there
why
now
don't
and
you
go to
take
class.
20 seconds? You're probably late to your class, so why don't you go ahead and do it?
Quite specifically, I wanted to point out to all our viewers that there is now a Thursday night power block of late night television. That is right.
Tell me more, Johnny.
All right.
Tell us more.
Not only do we have Mount Dungeon at the same time on Thursday evenings, but now the Wallpaper Project has moved to 11:30 after Mount Dungeon. So that is 1 whole hour of spectacular local music and visual scrumptiousness all in one. It's a whole hour. It's great. You should be watching. All right. And I love the way my voice sounds on this microphone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Changing some discs around.
Alright, I gotta go take the class.
All right. Looking for the Trail Explorer. Here it is. Thought I had it in there, but then the telephone call just got me so befuddled here. I tell you what, getting those telephone calls, you know what I mean? Distract you from what you're doing. But she was like, I don't believe you. It was just hilarious. I don't believe you. I hear a child in the background. I mean, she was. It was a hoot. I thought it was a hoot. Okay, let's see. What am I doing now? I'm doing this. Let's see. There it is, and there it is. Ta-da! All right, I hope it's going through the audio. Let's see. There it is.
What's your Trail Explorer? Oh, I've been wanting to do that trail. Been there.
There we go. All right. How about that? You had no idea, did you? Now you know. It's the Trail Explorer. Isn't it all right. And we have other things we can do here. Let's see.
Now, when you're taping it here, now are you
Yeah.
using cassette tapes or DVD?
This is a good time for PSA, dude.
That's what's happening.
Oh, word.
Don't you know? Let's see. What am I doing here? I'm trying to
What's PSA?
figure out. There. Okay. Oh.
So of the PSA dude, that's me. My name is Jonathan. I'm going to be showing you reading PSAs probably weekly here, and I'll be telling you about what's going on in Buncombe County and Asheville, and that's how it's going to go. So
Actually, I have a lot of
let's see
PSA
how this is going to work out.
Okay.
I can read that after, that'd be great.
All right, what's up? I'm the PSA dude, and I'm here at the URTV Studio A, also known as Snow Studio, and this is where most of our shows get taped. So just to give you a little bit of peek around what it looks like. These are very, very nice cameras, and here's some PSAs. So advocates for small business present how to do business with the federal and state government at the Asheville Area Chamber of Commerce on Wednesday, September 26th from 9 a.m. to noon. The chamber is located at 36 Montford Avenue. Call 258-6101 or visit www.ashevillechamber.org for more information. See, this is how it's going to work. All right, so moving on, we've also got, there will be a Hungarian picnic, which is open to all Hungarians or folks interested in learning more about Hungarian culture on September 29th at 10 a.m. at Bull Creek Ranch off of Riceville Road in Asheville. The event is free, and organizers can be reached at 4585. Improve your speaking, listening, and leadership skills with the Land of Sky Toastmasters Club. Toastmasters meet at Shoney's on Longshalls Road near I-26, exit number 37, Tuesdays from 7 to 8:15. For information, call 273-9178 or visit landofsky@toastmasters.org. Black Mountain Recreation and Parks will host the Southeastern Regional Dodgeball Tournament on Mondays through October 1st, 6:30 to 9:30 at the Gray Eagle Arena. For more information, call the Black Mountain Recreation and Parks office at 669-2052.
Now, what classifies as PSA?
Get involved with the Western North Carolina disc golf community. Come out for doubles at Black Mountain Park on Mondays at 6 and Richmond Hill Park Tuesdays at 5:30. For more information, call 680-9626 or visit www.wncdiscgolf.com.
Crunching in my mouth. Tomatoes from my garden.
Agency Films presents the second annual Asheville Rejects Film Festival for 2007 with special guest of honor, Mr. Lloyd Kaufman.
Now that's cool because that is
Call for
like
entry.
right?
Submit your film for free. www.theagentheadquarters.com or email agency_films@yahoo.com. Be a part of the 2000 festival by submitting your film or telling a friend about the Asheville Rejects Film Festival coming November 9th through the 12th. 9th through the 12th.
All right.
TSA Choice has been in business for 25 years. We've just had our anniversary this year, and we help businesses communicate.
Just a matter of ethics.
So, if you have a PSA you'd like me to announce or come to your place of business, contact us at URTV, www.urtv.org. That's it, killer.
That's it. Okay. Well, now you have a PSA to read?
Oh, you gotta kill that, man. Now, do it. I hate that music.
That's Jonathan's favorite song. Hang on a minute. And I'll put you some patterns up or something. Don't you think you should have some kind of
Something fantastical.
something running in the background there?
Yes.
Okay. My goodness. Let's see. No, let's see. Let's see, we need key. And we'll do right there. We'll do like that for the moment. And I'll hone it a little bit better as we go. Okay, there you go.
Very nice.
Is that good enough for you?
That's fine for me.
Okay, I don't have zoomability on this particular unit right now on that camera. So
Well, that's fine. We can do a group PSA group.
okay, here we go. There you go.
So this is just to let everybody know how the PSA dude's gonna work. Right now we're just shooting one episode a week. So if there is something timely that just came in, somebody just sent this in, and it's happening next week. So that's before the next episode would actually be finished and aired. So I wanted to go ahead and do it right now. So we're gonna do PSA Dude live. Second time this has ever happened, right? Both times on the Mad Scientist Tea Party. So exclusive. If you want to know what's happening in the Buncombe County area, you need to watch the Mad Scientist Tea Party, particularly if you're trying to sell the dream of a lifetime via Visa, MasterCard, or Discover. And
Right. Well, we do probably announce a whole lot more about what's going on in the community than any other show.
I would agree. Seeing
By a long shot. I'd
definitely,
say.
definitely. So this is a art working/working art workshop. It's a special evening for college students, and this is going to be Thursday, October 11th, from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at the Asheville Art Museum in Pack Square downtown. And this is free with membership, or museum admission is free with college or school ID. So this is presented by the student dockets of Asheville Art Museum. This evening discussion and presentation will bring you into contact with local curators, gallery directors, conservators, is that how you say that? And other conservators and other art professionals as
Right,
together
conservators.
Yes.
conservators and other art professionals as together we learn more about the business of art. And that's
Conservators.
conservative. Open to all college and high school age students and their parents, and refreshments will be provided. So panelists will include Benjamin Bestalel, professional studio artist, Leslie Klinger, who is an associate curator of Biltmore State, Lisa Runquist, associate professor of art history at UNC Asheville Art Museum, and Kara Warren, conservation technician at the Biltmore Estate. So again, this is from the Asheville Art Museum, and this is for Thursday, October 11th, from 6 to 8:30 at the Asheville Art Museum.
Do you want?
Hey, fresh.
And that's how PSA do work. So
That's it. Huh? Now, is there somebody filming this out front this time?
probably not.
Well, where's Kurt?
Kurt he's busy making the interns do stuff. They're doing producer profiles and all sorts of promo stuff for the station. So
Oh, well, and they couldn't make an intern. I need an intern to cook these things. You want?
well, should we get you
An intern to cook.
for
Yes.
well from what though? Like from the culinary arts? You want
I just want an intern. I think I can teach anybody how to put a muffin in a toaster. You
True,
know?
but what if you got an intern that was like a culinary arts student, and then you could have
Oh, yeah.
you could have more than just muffins.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Right now, I'm just trying to get muffins. Going.
One step at a time.
I got the muffins thing going. I got the English muffins going, and I put you may notice I lay the blackberries.
So yeah, you like some muffin with your jam, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Or are they not jam? Is it preserves?
What does it say?
It says preserves.
Mm-hmm. Good.
I just remember that there was
Very good.
There was a commercial for.
Oh, you got one. 'Cause-
Oh yes. Oh, I've already devoured it. That was
You got one.
right on time. It was very good. Thank you. So now back to the front.
Okay.
And here I'll do this. This is totally accidental, coincidental.
Oh, it's.
Oh wait, I should keep going.
I like my non-commercials. You'll love them.
Like the what commercials?
Non-commercials. We paused for this non-commercial.
A non-commercial.
Yeah.
Oh.
Such as in URTV 20, there are specific rules we have to go by, such as we cannot ask for donations for URTV 20. An example is I can't stand on the radio or TV and say, please, please, think about your future and send your money to URTV 20. Now, of course, if that was a legitimate commercial, I would not have been able to do that. But since it was just a sample of what we're not allowed to do, I just wanted you to know, we obey the rules.
You want to do those samples on your own show?
Yeah. Oh, I've already have. If Troy would get the 2 hours worth of tapes I've given him,
Uh-huh.
or 3 hours, I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Right now I'm doing the 1 hour, I may make it 2 hours, but it's going to be definitely different than what I have been doing.
Mm-hmm.
I hope this scares the stew out of people.
To scare people?
You know, since sometimes people love to go to horror flicks.
You want to frighten people?
No. I want to wake them up to an essence, to a horror flick,
Mm. Uh-huh.
but yet not a horror flick.
Well.
It will be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since you gotta consider I'm trying to scare people with a puppet.
Mm.
Now I want people to think it's like, whether I win or lose this election doesn't matter to me. I mean, I would love to win, but what matters to me more is that people get out and vote. People get out and fulfill their requirement, their obligation to me. Every citizen in this country has obligations to every other citizen in this country. And that obligation is go out there and make sure that they vote.
Indeed.
Those who don't vote are not fulfilling their obligation. To me, if you want to set anything to define what a patriot is, that one thing is getting out and voting. I mean, you think about it. When our country, quote, our great democracy goes to another country to help establish it, the hardest thing for them to do is establish a government through voting.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in countries where there's been great fear of, persecution.
Mm-hmm. Right, in those countries, they know better than to vote. Because there's no sense in letting the enemy know what you think, what your opinion is. You know, fear repercussions.
Reprisals.
Well,
No, replications, yeah, same thing. Yeah.
whatever. Repercussions. They fear repercussions. Mhm. Or may be concussions.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's like he was saying, why is, from what I understand, I don't know how true it is, but I hear that one of the reasons why Ron Moore runs unopposed is that basically every lawyer in this town, which is incidentally connected to Fiscal Legal Service, basically from what I hear, if you run against Ron Moore and you lose, you might as well forget about ever getting another plea bargain, with this attorney's office. So that's from, now that's street source information, so how reliable it is, I couldn't tell you.
Mm-hmm.
But it is something
Well,
to think about.
you could ask a public defender. If that was accurate. You think they would tell you?
I don't know.
Probably not tell you.
So all those offices are political.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I know my story is this, and I know I haven't told it to you, and you don't know it. You heard it mentioned, reference to it earlier. I let a fellow stay at my house, and I woke up with him standing over me with a hammer, beating me in the head with a hammer in my sleep, trying to murder me and rob me in my sleep. And I had to fight for my life for 30 minutes. And it was a real horror show, blood-splattered walls and what have you. It was pretty severe. And the only way I escaped with my life was I balled up and broke out of the bedroom window and was able to escape. And with just the last ounce of energy that was in me. So while they caught him just down the road, all covered in my blood, he was easy to find. And while I was in the hospital getting 4 stitches in the front of my head and 5 staples in the back of my head, in the emergency room, he turned me in for marijuana. And they let him off on a misdemeanor assault charge
Sounds like Asheville.
for that, and which later he pled guilty to the misdemeanor assault charge. And then when I came up for the 3 felony charges for marijuana, my court-appointed attorney told me that the only way that he could guarantee for me to stay out of prison was to take the deal they were offering me, and therefore I've pled guilty to 3 felony charges for marijuana in order to stay out of prison after having been turned in by a guy who tried to murder me, whose thing appears to be to go around and murder people and rob them. And I was completely upfront with the police and all in everything about it, because I thought I was trying to help them take a murderer off the street. Right, but I found out that I wasn't. I was helping them put a case together against me for marijuana. And
Therefore, the victimless crime goes to jail, and the victim of a crime gets to watch his perpetrator walk out.
right.
We have lost sight in our criminal system to what is law about. If you and I if you're on an island by yourself, you don't need law. Once another individual comes, you need law. To what? To protect yourself and your property. And it seems our government and our police department is so focused on chasing after the easy criminal, which is the consensual criminal, the gambler, the pot smoker, than it is to go after the one who shoots back.
Well, it's been, from my experience, okay, now I'm going to have to tell you that since my high school days, I have occasionally smoked marijuana. And I have smoked, although it's been a while, I also smoked tobacco. I will also say that most of my friends have smoked marijuana too, and I believe probably most of my friends have smoked tobacco as well. And this is over a period now more than 20 years, looking more like 30 years or more than 30 years, working close up to 40 years and stuff like that in this thing. I guess it's been 40 years. I have noticed, and it is my opinion, that the tobacco is much more damaging, causes much more problems to the individual and to society, et cetera, that, you know, than the marijuana. So I find tobacco. I know this is North Carolina. I was born in North Carolina, raised in North Carolina. I know that North Carolina is a tobacco state, but I also know a lot about tobacco, and I have observed in my lifetime that tobacco is the larger evil of the two. How would you say that you also have had experience that would match that?
I mean, 30 years ago, our government should have wised up and said, look, when Nixon was given a study that found that marijuana was no worse than alcohol or tobacco, he should have then said, well, fine, if it's no worse, then let's have it legal, rather than keeping a segment of society a slave society. That's why they do it. I mean, look how many people can't work above a certain level just because they can't piss in the cup.
Can't vote. I can't vote.
Well, no, you can't. North Carolina reestablishes your right to vote.
But right now, I can't vote.
Now, are you on any paper, parole?
Huh?
Are you on parole or probation?
Probation right now.
Okay, once you're off probation, you'll be able to, but until then.
But right now, I cannot vote. So I cannot vote. There's some important elections coming up, and I cannot vote.
Yeah.
But you know what I can do? I can campaign like hell. So there you have it.
Absolutely. Because the only a lot of us thought when Clinton said he smoked pot, a lot of us thought, okay, finally we're going to get pot legal. And he backstabbed everybody and double-stepped. The pharmaceutical companies, the medical industry, and the insurance companies don't want pot legal because it's all money.
Right. They can't make a profit on it.
That's it. Well, they're making too great a profit off of it being illegal. I mean, you take an ounce of good stuff now costs $400, whereas if you made it legal, it'd be about $10. So where's the profit for the dealer? Even dealers don't, the high-end dealers don't want to see legal because they lose tons and tons of money. A book on...
So you know, and I know that this is true, that the major people that are moving the major weight of marijuana in the country are the force behind keeping it illegal. So it is the criminal element, if you will, that is keeping it illegal. So that they can make an illegal profit.
Consider illegal elements, because I feel even a corporation, if they're doing something that's detrimental to a society, even by suppressing their rights, I feel that's just as much a criminal act as anything else. If the pharmaceutical companies and the insurance companies,
well, certainly an immoral act.
If they're using their power to manipulate our congressmen to keep marijuana illegal, then to me they're doing a violent act upon me.
Right.
Because think about this: they threatened you with jail. They said, if you don't plea bargain, if you don't pay us this money, if you don't this, and if you don't do that, we'll throw you in jail. To me, that's the same as the guy who came into your house and beat you in the head. To me, it's the same violent crime.
Right.
The problem is our government's known for being violent criminals. I mean, when you think about it, our first industry, our first export from this country was tobacco. So we've been a drug dealer from the beginning.
Right.
And we'll be a drug dealer till the end. I mean, methadone was nothing more than they did it exactly like drug dealers do. Hi guys, I hear you're doing heroin. I know you're enjoying the high, but we got something
Try
for
this.
you to get you off the heroin. It's called methadone.
Of course, you'll be addicted to it.
Which will become addicted, and addiction is worse than the original heroin, plus you won't get high. And that's what we really want. We don't want your mind to expand itself and possibly see that we're jerks. And that's why the government keeps it. Governments love to keep their people oppressed. And it's because of a small minority. I mean, why is it that 80% of the money is owned by 2% of the world? Because their ego trip is to see who can have more than the other. And they don't care what to do to the people underneath that. We lose, according to this book in 1993, we lose $150 billion in tax revenue alone. And at that time, in 20 years, you could have paid off the national debt.
Well, then the whole system would collapse if they paid off the national debt on a universal scale, wouldn't it?
The system they have now, yeah.
Yeah.
Because guess what? If we,
And the people that have the power now would be they'd just be out of it, wouldn't they?
that's the same thing as going metro with the city. The city going metro with Asheville, with the county, would put a lot of politicians out of business. That's why they'll fight tooth and nail to keep this town from going metro.
Is this your tea, or is this someone else's tea?
I
Is
think that's someone else's. This
that's
is
your
mine.
tea?
Yeah.
Are you empty?
Yeah, but
I wanted to recommend you try this. This
Okay.
has now become a spice tea. This is a Mad Hatter tea has been added to this, and a little ginseng. Do you mind ginseng?
No, I love ginseng.
Okay, there's a little ginseng and a little Mad Hatter tea now been added into all this, and see what you think. I think it's a delightful little blend.
It is nice.
It's yummy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we have good tea? This is your first time at the tea party, isn't
Oh
it?
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I think the tea's
Have
great.
you been impressed with the tea and the?
Yeah, and especially the blackberry jam and the tea.
That's decent, isn't it? It's
Very good.
better than what you usually find, don't
Yeah.
you think? Yeah, that's what I thought too. I was very pleased. I've been in. I
Now,
felt,
do you do the Mad Tea Party every day or just?
Mad Scientist Tea Party right now has been every Thursday and Friday, starting at 4 o'clock. Tea times at 4. I believe we may be moving the this show, the Thursday show, may be going to Tuesday. You know, so I couldn't say about that. I think that's how it's going to go. We're in the midst of schedule changes, and the official results have not come out yet. You know,
Oh yeah.
there may be some photo finishes. We have to wait and see what happens. But we've been doing it.
Yeah, 'cause what I'm gonna do is
Constantly.
I wanna try and set up for not this time, but for the next time when they do this series of having one already done, so I can just go.
We have city council people on. We have Robin Cape on quite a bit. We're big fans of hers because she has the band, the Buckarettes. Are you familiar with her
Yeah, I know
band?
she's got a band, but I've never got to see it yet.
Oh, well, you should. They're a fun band. It's 3 girls, and these girls are fun. There are some fun girls, and they sing cowgirl songs, if you will. You know,
Okay.
and they have their cowgirl costumes, and but I like to say this, that I hope this doesn't make them mad, but when I first saw them and they had their cowgirl suits on and stuff like that, and I got the impression that even before they had the band, that they already had their cowgirl suits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was cool.
Yeah, I like Robin Cape. I mean, she was neat. When I brought the puppet out, I mean, she took it like a trooper. Little, you know, I mean, our mirror, I think, needs to grow up a little bit. You know,
Uh-huh.
puppets are not going to bite.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But Robin was great. She set me
Uh-huh.
up with my final line, so it made excuse me. Yeah, it's kind of made the day for me.
Oh, good. That's good. But we'll see. We'll see what goes on. Well, you may be noticing that there are time discrepancies in this studio.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That's because we do time experiments here. Over
Okay.
to the left, to your left, where our viewing audience doesn't have access to that area right now. That's where we're attaching one end of a wormhole,
Oh, okay.
and the other end of the wormhole we're able to project into any space and time. There, and then of course you see the patterns, the wallpaper that we've installed. That's all. This is all sort of the time machine on in the idle mode. It sits there and runs through this, and then you saw a little bit of the PSA dude
Yeah.
when he came to the tea party, and you saw the really strange sort of thing. That was the time machine in full throttle there going, and we have more effects and stuff that we haven't brought out yet. That we've not really brought the wormhole online yet, and so that's a start.
Now this is high definition TV.
Wow, what was that? Was there a big noise outside?
Yeah, I think so. I think somebody's messing with the stereo.
Are they doing that to us on purpose?
No, I don't think so. Oh,
Wow, that sounded like I don't know. I thought the wormhole had broken loose in some spot. That's what I thought. But
well,
I
yeah, it
guess
sounds
not.
like they're partying on the other side of it.
I guess the following laughter should have clued us in, huh? Yes. But I didn't put the sugar on the table. I've done the whole tea party. I put no sugar on the table. Are you one for sugar?
No, not with
Well-
tea. No,
well,
with
then
coffee I drink it with
Okay, well
sweet.
then I won't even bother getting it unless someone else comes in. But
No, I'm cream is about all I put in tea.
now, where do you come from?
Where do I come from?
I think you and I may have discussed this before.
I
Go
come
ahead.
from a mountain on Pisgah Forest, basically.
Really? Is that where
Yeah.
you were born?
In a way, yeah, yeah. I consider my birth on the mountain 7 years ago,
Uh huh.
and because when I
So
look
you're
back,
only 7 years old.
Yeah, I'm only 7.
I don't think that you're old enough to run for city council.
I don't think they have a rule.
Really?
I don't think.
So 7-year-olds can run for city. Hey, 7-year-olds, take note of
I
this.
don't-
I
well-
think we need a couple of 7-year-olds in the
we'd
running.
we'd probably
You
do better
know,
off.
if we don't have any of them in the running, I think some of you 7-year-olds need to get politically active out there.
Excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
someone named Stephen Donahoe would like you to call him. He's an old friend of yours.
Yes, he is.
There's his number.
Okay. Hello, Stephen Donahoe. You like the patterns, Stephen? You see our patterns? All right. Well, I probably talked too much on the phone during the show, but the show will be over in 20 minutes. So there's that. So anyway, so you're born on a mountain. You're 7 years old, and you're running for city council. And I was trying to get some kind of a perspective on your background and your experience. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And your-
well,
you
my
know.
experience has been neat for the last 7 years. I've gone in depths in my life that I've never, realized before, especially in the spiritual aspects. When in the giftings I've got, three of them is word of knowledge, word of wisdom, and word of prophecy. Now I used to never use tarot cards, and in fact, I would have said no, tarot cards are wrong, da 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 da. But I found through the study of the word that the priests in the Old Testament used divination devices. They used the Urim and Thummim to divine what God's will was. Well, if the priest could then,
There's a famous incident where there's a fleece put out.
Gideon's fleece. And if those things can be done then, and God's the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow, then who's to say a priest can't do it today? So I started working with tarot cards, not reading them as what a lot of people do, but just listening to what God is saying to me through the cards. Now, what I've found is it's always normally been what I've always felt and heard when I've talked with people. But what I've found is more people are apt to listen. It's interesting. I can sit somebody down and tell them exactly what the Lord's saying, and they just blow it off. But if I sit down with cards and show them, it's like their faith has something that it can grasp to that just the words alone doesn't do.
Well, I noticed that on your vest you have something that says U.S. Army.
Yeah. I was U.S. Navy, though.
But you were in the Navy.
Yeah.
Were you aboard a ship? Were you a seafarer?
Yeah, I was bored on ship, too. Man, I'll tell you what, being at sea gets very boring.
But
Yeah.
you were a seafarer type.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Sailed the many seas.
Right. Well, I guess you are confined to a pretty small area for a long period of time between ports.
Oh, yeah.
But they keep you busy, don't they?
It depends on your rating. Mine was pretty busy. But see, the nice thing was they couldn't shoot at me. That's why I went Navy. I mean, back then, the old man back then, was very protective. So when I went military, I went Navy. 'Cause you don't get shot at
Right.
as often as you do when you're in a grunt or
Uh-huh.
Army. Now, my dad started out Marines, and he retired.
You get shot
Air
at a
Force.
lot when you're a Marine.
Yeah, yeah. But you learn to shoot back too.
Mm-hmm. So you did just a regular hitch in the
Yeah.
in the Navy.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see that's a government agency. You know what I mean? And so that gives you some you probably learned a lot about how the government operates while being in the
Yeah,
Navy.
paying $79 for a toilet seat and $100 for a hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, plus, on my mama's side of the family, one of my uncles was a U.S. Navy intelligence station out of Philippines.
Out of where?
Out of the Philippines.
Philippines.
He was an entourage for the ambassador. In other words, he did this spook
Mm-hmm.
bit.
I've just noticed that the chicken in the scene on the TV there, the chicken bunny is in your way. This is my co-host,
Oh, okay.
and if you sit him up on that end of the table,
Okay.
and don't let him commit suicide.
Okay. Very interesting. Where'd you find this?
It was a gift. One of our guests brought that to the tea party
Oh, okay.
as a gift.
Very interesting.
That's the chicken bunny.
The chicken bunny.
Could you tell?
Yeah, yeah. Just don't let the mirror see it.
It's a religious item. Religious. I don't know what are the like religious items that you
Oh,
you know
icons.
icons? No, not exactly. Sort of, but like an object that you know a holy object. It's a holy object. This is a holy object. Object.
Yeah. Come through the wormhole.
Yes, well, this is a holy object. Yes.
Well, it's interesting because I have most of the things on that I've gotten in the last 7 years. I, in a sense, look at it that way. An example, the completion of well, I'd say my wardrobe so far has been, a sword has just been given to me, a nice one, and a lighter, which, nice little one.
Mm-hmm.
And I consider them parts of a story pattern that the Lord's been doing in my life.
You have another thing there. Is it a crystal ball inside of a?
No, this is actually a D&D dice, a 20-sided
Oh, I
dice.
see.
Yeah, so I can always play D&D wherever I'm at. I got my dice.
I see. Huh.
I usually carry my characters. In fact, now I am carrying my characters in my backpack,
Uh huh.
so I can always run my characters in a game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I'm going to let's see. I think I'm going with this one. Yeah. I'm going to get ready to run my final credits. We're not quite there yet, but it doesn't hurt to start taking care of it while I'm thinking about it, because I'll. As you know, we have time variations here, and among other things, when you're doing this show, time can get away from can get away from you.
Oh yeah.
It can get away from me too, and
Yeah, I find that happens to me when I'm doing my taping. Because I'm doing everything just spur of the moment,
Mhm.
ad lib,
yeah.
and it's surprising how fast time will go.
Yes.
Speaking of time, I think it's time that the city council goes to a full-time job.
It's time for city council to do what?
Go to a full-time position instead of part-time. I mean, they're already having 3 city council meetings a month now.
Yeah.
Whereas when I first came to the city, they only had 2 city councils a month.
Yeah.
And,
That's not many.
no, and they need to go more.
I thought they had them every week, but I guess they
No.
don't.
Well, they, like I said, they used to have them every other week, and now it's, second, third, and fourth Sunday, second, third, and fourth Tuesday of every month. Now, they're not having one this Tuesday because the election's coming.
Uh-huh.
Yes, don't forget, folks, that's the primaries.
Some people have already voted in the early voting
Yeah.
period. I understand that there's been, that we're in the early voting period now. I think that's right.
Yeah.
Is that correct? So,
So get out there and vote, folks. If you're not gonna vote for me, at least get out and vote.
come on in, have a seat. Join
Hello,
us.
Brother Christopher. You remember
How
me?
you doing? Yeah.
I just want to step in real quick, John, and
Let's see what we got. Yeah,
Brother
I know,
Christopher.
I know. I ain't got no money.
there you go.
He
Hey,
said something about early voting, and I wanted to tell you, I was at the Board of Election today.
Yeah.
As of around 3 o'clock, there was over 300 some odd people voted early.
Oh,
And I think that's probably a good thing.
They didn't happen to tell you who's in the lead, did they?
Oh,
No, they won't tell you that. They
no.
won't even tell him that, will they?
No,
Did you ask?
no. 'Cause the way they do it now, you go in there if you want to vote early, in case
Mhm.
somebody's listening.
Okay.
And I don't mean to turn this into a political show, but I will say this.
Uh-huh.
In case you want to go and do early voting.
This
they
is not a
have-
call to action.
No.
We're not telling
No,
anybody to
we're
get
not
vote
telling
early.
No,
But if
don't
you
vote.
did, this is what would happen.
If I did, this is what would happen. Thank you, John. Thank you.
I'm just being
Praise.
silly. I'm being silly. Go ahead.
They give you a sheet of paper. Have you voted early, by the way?
No.
Okay. Are you going to vote?
Yeah,
Okay.
I at least want to get one vote in this election.
Anyway, they give you a sheet of paper. They have these little, a table where you sit down, and there's this petition, and you sit down and you mark who you want. You fill in the circle.
Uh-huh.
And then you go over to this machine. It looks like a scanner, and you put the paper on top of it, and it pulls the paper in, and then your vote's registered. So they have two means of recording it, which is now paper along with the electronic.
Uh-huh.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
We won't have the fiasco like we did elsewhere.